artist who was also married to a homosexual. So yes, we're sensing a theme.
Is romaine a man or a woman?
Is a woman.
Not lettuce.
Right, not lettuce. There's a woman.
Romaine.
She was actually very masculine. Even though she was married to a homosexual man, he was very put off by the fact that she would go around dressed like a man. And she cropped her hair off and everything. So she was a very accomplished painter. You can look her up on Wikipedia, and they have several of her paintings. And it's very interesting because you see like the progression of her style. Because I mean, she starts out in the kind of the tail end of the Impressionist period. She started out painting portraits of people.
I don't know as much about the art movements.
Right.
When Impressionism was like Monet?
Yeah, 1870s, 1880s.
Okay.
Into the 90s. You get more into post-impressionism by the 90s.
Okay, so this is before like fin de siècle. This is before the turn of the century.
Right.
Okay.
She did actually paint Winnaretta at one point in time.
Oh.
One of her first exhibitions, there was a portrait of Winnaretta that she did. And then as she progresses into the 20th century, she gets very almost Picasso-ish with really
sideways noses and shit.
Well, not that crazy, but the colors and the bold strokes of paint and stuff is very kind of Picasso-y.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't not like Picasso. I just had a very specific
visualization of
sort of aesthetic in my head.
Well, it's kind of hard, when he puts the women's boobs on their heads and stuff.
Right?
Yeah. Winnaretta was also involved with a British composer named Ethel Smythe. Was apparently very deeply in love with her. But
that was short-lived.
Yeah, but apparently
it burned hot and fast.
Yeah, well, apparently Ethel was very passionate in her relationships. She fell in love with Emmeline Pankhurst, who was the suffragette leader.
Yeah.
Was very straight and very married.
Oh.
But so Winnaretta moved on from Ethel to an Italian pianist named Renata Borgatti, who also had an affair back with Romaine Brooks. No, this is
very
fun.
incestuous.
Yes, this is exactly one of her more well-known relationships was with Violet Trespasis.
Is this all in Paris?
Yeah, Paris and London. She seemed to be
but this is not back in the States at all.
No, she didn't spend very much time in the States after she left as a child.
Sure.
Violet Trespasis was a British novelist and daughter of Mrs. Alice Keppel, who was the longtime and last mistress of Edward VII.
Okay.
Winnaretta was considered generally to be the dominant figure in her relationships, and they said she was very disciplined about it. And I think that was probably very true given the fact that she managed to keep a lot of it under wraps when she wanted to.
Right. You gotta keep that under wraps. So this is still in the late 1800s?
This was early 1900s.
Okay.
So the women never got picked on. It's just a really strange thing.
And she was born when? 1870? 65.
65.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So she's getting up there.
Yeah.
Oh, 35. No, never mind. So not that old.
This was the early 20s.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
almost 60.
She's in his 50s.
She's in her 50s,
Okay.
yeah. Winnaretta was kind of responsible for introducing Violet to the artistic elite of Paris, and they were very happy for some years. But it did sound like Violet was very emotional when Winnaretta was kind of not.
She must have been raised really well. Like her mom, I guess, must have instilled some good discipline and values in her.
Yeah.
And coming from kind of a crazy
background. Right, exactly.
To be that.
And because they were so low key about their relationship, Violet's mother, Mrs. Keppel, seemed to be more accepting of it. Mm-hmm. And of course, it didn't hurt that Winnaretta was worth over $1 million.
Yeah, that would not hurt.
So they were actually together for a decade before they went their separate ways.
It's not that long. 10 years isn't that long a time.
Maybe.
She could have just settled down with one person for the rest of her life.
Right. The last years of her life were spent with Alvide Chaplin, who was an amateur landscape architect of sorts.
Oh.
No. She's got a very interesting backstory as well. She was married to the son of a viscount and had a daughter with him when she embarked on the relationship with Winnaretta in the mid-1930s.
Okay.
So Winnaretta died in 1943. Mm-hmm. Since Winnaretta had no children, most of her money seemed to be kind of tied up in foundations and such, as we've discussed.
Yep.
The foundation Singer Polignac holds the title of the mansion in Paris. Mm-hmm. And then it's a specific foundation that owns the one in Venice, right, as well?
That I don't know.
I would like to throw in, just because this is of interest to me, Winnaretta was an important leader in the development of public housing in Paris.
Oh.
She funded a project for the working poor at Rue de la Colonie in the 13th arrondissement. And then she also commissioned Le Corbusier to rebuild and design several shelters for the Parisian Salvation Army. One of the hostels that he designed has an apartment on the top floor for Miss Singer.
That's kind of, yeah. That seems like a weird thing to do, to build
public housing.
Give a Salvation Army a penthouse.
That is kind of interesting.
Does it still exist? Can we visit it?
Well, I wasn't sure if anything that he designed actually was built.
Did it not get built?
Yeah, that was what I was kind of. I just looked up Rue de Colonie. It's all in French. Oh well.
You want me to read it? Can you translate it?
No. Anyway, finally, my favorite little tidbit. She teamed up with Gilded Age heiress Consuela Vanderbilt.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, in the construction of
a
hospital for middle class workers, which today is the Foch Hospital. I looked it up.
Foch.
It says Foch on the internet. I looked it up and
it doesn't say Foch because you say Foch. Foche, like Avenue Foch. Yeah, there's all these different, like L'Hôpital. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the
Avenue Foch. So that's where we're staying. Like that's close to where we're staying.
Okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
The pronunciation that I looked up on the internet said Foch.
Did you listen to somebody that said Foch?
Yes, 3 of them said it.
Really?
Yes, multiple people said it.
All right, I guess I gotta change how I say it then. It's not Foch, it's Foch.
So this hospital that she founded is actually one of France's renowned teaching hospitals. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny because I saw it on the map.
So very cool. She was definitely an interesting lady. Not horribly scandalous. I mean, you can't really.
No, I mean the dad. Right.
The dad
she wasn't, but she was just interesting.
I mean,
so
it would have been scandalous to be a lesbian back then. Yeah,
that's true.
So
that's true. But it's nice to go from somebody that kind of grossed me out a little bit with all those children.
So that's that. That's Winnaretta.
Yeah.
Next week
Where are we going next?
Yeah, next week we will talk about her younger brother, Paris Singer, who was responsible for Singer Island off the coast of Florida. And a lot of stuff in Palm Beach, which
he was friends with Meisner?
Yes.
Okay.
Adrian's super excited now. That's the whole reason we did this.
I was just in a rut this time.
This is the whole reason we did the Singers was I was
having to read all the French and Italian and not really understand.
Maybe that's why they require it for a PhD here in the States. You have to be proficient in, one of them said German, which I found very strange. I would think French or Italian would be the ones that you would want.
Well, I would think Latin, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, because Latin's the root of it all. But so, yeah, we'll be talking about Paris, who had a bit of scandal himself. He was involved with Isadora Duncan. The dancer. Yeah, the famous ballerina. Dancer. They had a very...
Who is Paris?
Winnaretta's brother. So,
I'm just glad our podcast is coming back around to Florida because you know how much I love it there.
All roads lead to Florida.
Right? That is the truth, isn't it?
So, yeah.
It's true. It is true. Oh, so speaking of Florida, there is a book. This is a recommendation from our wonderful podcast. There's a book about Flagler called Last Train to Paradise.
Oh.
Please read it. I'm in possession of it now, but I have not read it yet.
Road trip.
Always.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm there.
Well, we said we're going to drive to your parents' house in the wilds of South Florida.
Well, now it's farther. Yeah. But it's still fun because we can go through all the cool places.
Yeah. And we can take my car.
Yeah, we can just sleep in your car.
Well, I do all the time when I do my reenactment, so don't put me up to that.
Sure.
I do have the fold-out memory foam mattress.
I'm in.
So join us next week when we
go to Florida on a road trip and sleep in the back of Caroline's wagon.
Yep.
We will broadcast live from the road.
That would be freaking awesome.
Spring break. Yeah. Scandal Sheets hits the road. 2019.
If you can fit me into your already busy travel schedule. You've already got all your vacation planned out. I know you do.
I have a lot of it planned out. But Florida.
It is Florida.
Yep.
I'm sure we can find like a holiday Friday or a holiday Monday.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. Well, until next week, join us on all of our social media outlets to Facebook and Instagram. Big thanks to a couple of folks that have reached out to us on Instagram. You guys are awesome. We appreciate the love.
Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you for listening. And it just warms the cold cockles of my heart when you guys say that we're your ladies and that we keep you company and all that fun stuff. So
and while I've been chatting and discussing all of our fun history, I've actually been working on a puzzle. So I'm totally multi-talented, and I told Caroline that it's her fault that I didn't start my research until late, because she fed Puzzle Monster in me and gave me this really amazing, actually one of my new favorite puzzles of New York. And I like New York, but I'm not obsessed with New York like I'm obsessed with Florida. But I tell you, this puzzle is graphically pleasing and challenging.
1,000 pieces.
And it's just a good thing to have on my table.
I see the plaza. I think that's the
and
plaza.
I've really been enjoying working on it for the last couple weeks.
Oh, and King Kong's on top of the Chrysler building.
What is that? What that is?
Yes.
Oh my God, I just noticed that. No, not the Empire State, not the Chrysler.
Sorry, yeah.
And there's a map. There's a helpful map of the puzzle, and it has numbers that correspond to descriptions of the buildings. So
that's
number
even cooler.
69 is King Kong, top banana in the city. But they have things like the Plaza Hotel. And on one side of the puzzle, it has the Macy's parade. So I won't bore you, but I had never heard of this brand of puzzles. It's called Dowdle. And he sketches the cities. So there's other really beautiful puzzles. There's a DC, there's Paris, a San Antonio, Augustine. Vancouver. Yeah, and there's other smaller, there's Galveston. There's other unexpected cities.
I was going to get you St. Augustine, but it was only 500 pieces. So
no, I won't. So, I'm sorry, diversion, puzzle. If you love puzzles, give us a shout.
Oh, you can send one to Adrian.
Or I will accept a puzzle of a minimum of 1,000 pieces.
That's right.
In the mail, send it to Scandal Sheets. Just put it in the mail and slap a label on that sucker. Scandal Sheets. Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah. It'll find us. They'll find us. Yeah. I mean, one of these days we'll get a postal. Maybe people actually want to send us stuff, and we'll get a post office box.
I like that idea. Then we can be 29402, and I can check the mail at the main post office on Broad.
Yes.
I wonder how much a mailbox is.
$65
a year.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we just need one to have one then. All right, so we'll let you know. We'll let you know next time or soon-ish what our address is. And then we can get fan mail.
She just wants to go to the Broad Street post office.
I do, that's a fact.
It's a really super
I only
cool
go to the
post
East Bay
office.
one, and it smells great, but it's just not the same.
Smells great.
They all smell great. They smell like mail. So
Out
if
in
you
the
have
wilds.
a story about a post office,
send it in.
send it in.
All right.
Send me puzzles.
Yes. Follow us, like us, leave us reviews, positive ones preferably.
That's it.
Yep. So join us next time.
Next time, before Caroline goes back to grad school.
Yeah.
We'll follow the singers one more time.
Maybe not. I don't know.
We'll see.
Actually start next week.
It's only the 3rd, so...
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe just one more.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll be going back to Florida.
Yes. Florida, here we come.
Okay.
So, see you next week or next time.
Good night.
Wait a minute. I didn't do it right. Ta-ta for now.
Good night.